What he did was he went out, he partied, he cheated, slept around. This guy was acting like he was a single United States citizen. Well, go on, everybody. I'm Andre, and this is Roman a Day. In today's episode, I'll be talking about marrying for green card, for citizenship. As an adult, moving to the US, I've had many conversations with people who want to come to foreign, as we say it. They want to leave the hard life they're living, and sometimes it's not so hard, to be honest, to come to the bed of roses promised to them by Hollywood, the American dream. But as many people come to find out, legally living here isn't so easy. So what do? We become resourceful. And while I can talk about the many ways my people can be resourceful, one of the ways they become so creative is the main thing, marrying for green card. So I guarantee if you've lived in a new country as an immigrant for long enough, you've heard the question, especially if you live in like the big countries, America, Canada, England. You've probably heard the question from someone if you know anybody who wants to marry a friend. Story time. I have 3 stories for you today. I hope you have some time. Story number 1. When I just came to America, I had settled in, and there was this one friend back home in Jamaica. She had come to me through Facebook, Messenger, and it sounded like she was in desperate need of help. She sounded depressed. She said, Andre, I need to talk to you. So I made some time. It's not like I had a lot of time. I just came here. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. So I had time. So I listened to what she had to say. And I thought she was going to give a sob story about how she needed either money or a family member died. This girl looked at me and said, do you know anybody who want to marry me because me need a green card to come to America? Really? I took time out of my busy day to listen to a friend, to a childhood friend, and this is what they come with. Well, to be honest, I wasn't working or anything, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, story number 2. Now, when I was living in New York City, still to this day, the best city on this planet. Dirty, rats everywhere. But if you come here as an immigrant, New York City is the place to be. Why? Because if you have no transportation, you don't need it because the public transportation runs 24/7 and it's pretty good. But that's a story for a different time. I have this friend. He's from a Middle Eastern country. Not going to call the name, not going to call his name, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want this public right now. But because I had a lot of Middle Eastern friends when I was in New York, I can say this. He now looked depressed. And this guy, he's always smiling. And the fact that he looked depressed, I asked him what was wrong. And he gave me the story about how he's been living in the US, but he's been living here without his papers, without his green card, pretty much overstayed his time living illegally. So he tried to set up a way where he could get his papers. And that way was marrying someone for his green card. At that time, this was about 2010, he had paid someone $15,000 to get married to him and to live together so they can eventually get him his green card. Now, the reason this guy was depressed is at the last moment, just before they were about to get married, this girl backed out of the marriage. She backed out of the agreement. Okay, you backed out. No problem. Just give me my money and I'll go find somebody else who would want to get married. Not that easy. She did not want to give him back the money. She told him that she wasn't going to give him back the money. She wasn't going to get married because she was scared that she would get in trouble with the law. And if they found out, she probably would. But she said she wasn't giving him back his money. I don't know if she used the money. I don't know if it was stashed away in her bank account or under her beds like our Jamaican parents used to do. But he wasn't getting that money back. He threatened to go to the police, but she called his bluff. She said, go to the police. What is he going to do? Tell the police that he had illegally tried to get married for his papers? Well, that wouldn't turn out so well. Sucks for him. No, this guy was a very, very good person. He was very kind. You ever watch movies where they go to certain countries, certain Middle Eastern countries or South American countries, just certain developing countries, and when you go to their home, they treat you like you're a king. Like they give you food, they give you everything, and they refuse to have you refuse them. He was this type of person. And this was a very bad situation that I don't want any of my friends to find themselves in. Story number 3. And this story is one that is the dumbest one that I have out of all of the 3 stories. And I don't want to be specific, again, not to name names, but it was a family member of a family member that I knew. This guy, he came over here legally, as in he came over here on a working visa. But of course, he didn't go back. He ran off. Now, he wanted to get his papers. And what did he do? He found a very beautiful, kind Jamaican woman, a Jamaican American who had her papers. She was a citizen, and he got the chance to marry her. Now, it's not happily ever after. This fool, this idiot, while he was married to this person, the papers never come true. He decided that he didn't need to live in her house. He didn't need to follow her rules. He didn't even need to take care of her, love her, anything. What he did was he went out, he partied, he cheated, slept around. You know, this guy was acting like he was a single United States citizen. Here's the thing. The woman found out. It's not like he was hiding it. But being the kind woman she was, I think she was in love with him. She didn't go into the marriage thinking that it would be one for papers, because he didn't put it that way. He didn't put it as in he was going to get married for her for papers. They dated for a while and they were in love. So she thought that things were legit. No, she, out of the kindness of her heart, gave him a chance, or she tried to give him a chance. But this fool was abusive. He also hit her. He was physically abusive. This was the last straw. Now think about it. This woman could have called the police. She could have called ICE. She could have called some immigration service, because this guy was being abusive and he was not a citizen. But out of the kindness of her own heart, she did not do that. He came home one day to find all of his stuff in the streets. And she told him that he can never come back to her house again. They filed for divorce. That was it. He was still illegal at the time, and now he had to live with his brother in his house with their family in the basement. No. Is that something you want? I don't know. You tell me. Should you do it? Now, I'm not a legal expert or a subject matter expert on anything but my life. Hell, I'm not even a pro at that either. These are just my ideas, just my opinions, and may have enough of that. Don't do it. That's my official statement. But my situation is different than your situation. I came here with a few dollars saved, nothing else. That was it. You have to do what you have to do. All I can say is there are better ways to go by this. There are legal ways to go by this. I left a very good job, a great job in the Turks and Caicos to come here. I think in another life I was probably a nomad because I just love moving. I was on track to becoming that country's first, or one of that country's first main male primetime news anchor. Yes, in another life I was a reporter. I turned that down, of course. Turks and Caicos, we need to talk about that part of my life. But that's for another time. If you are living in a foreign country illegally and you're trying to get your papers, you're trying to get your citizenship, you're trying to get your residency, I implore you, seek legal advice. There are legal ways to do this. You do not have to get trapped in a marriage just because you want green card. But as the saying goes, you gotta do what you gotta do. In Jamaica we say you have to do what you have to do. Till next time, peace out.